Well, good evening. If anybody's out there, because I realised I forgot to announce this one on the old Fediverse earlier, but we're expecting Majenko through any minute now with his... there we go. As I was saying, there is a Majenko with 14 viewers. Hello there, folks. Good. Glad you could join me. Have to annoy me. Well, that won't be difficult at the moment. I'm already annoyed. As you might be able to hear, my throat is giving me some bother today, so we'll hope my voice holds out for this. And why is that thing up on that side still there? That shouldn't be there. Go away. Because we are not pointing anything in that direction today. Right. That might be the plan later, Matt, yes. No, I don't know what it is. Majenko just came on this evening, so I have a cup of tea, and I've had chicken and noodle soup earlier, and it went okay. So we'll see what happens. Good evening, Cobb, and good evening, Swarm as well, and Chloe, and anybody else who's here. Yeah. Anyway, so what we are doing today, low energy stream, I'm afraid, as opposed to all my obviously razzle dazzle efforts. As I've said, I need to start keeping track of some of my piles of nonsense around the place. Not only can I never find anything, but I have a lot of stuff in the office that might have to move out of the office and go into storage. And it would just be nice to be able to track what I have. Excuse me 1 second. And where I've put it, more importantly. So, be quiet. Not quite, Matt. I've been having a look at some of the stuff that's available, and it's all either overcomplicated or constrained in directions I don't want it to be constrained. So, for instance, Majenko has looked at the past at a thing called Homebox, which looked promising. Designed for domestic stuff, so that's all right. But it lets you add custom fields to things, so you can say, okay, well, I want to keep track of this bit of information. So I don't know what floppy sizes this machine takes, so on and so forth. but it wasn't particularly well normalised, so you couldn't go and say there's this particular field that I want to add to everything or add to certain things with these values in it, so on and so forth. Not heard of that one, Matt. I might look it up at some point, but what I was thinking of doing is, well, the other thing I had been thinking of, Shelby did one with Semantic Media Wiki. Good evening, Carrot House. So he just has a Semantic Media Wiki installed and then puts some stuff around it to do QR codes that he can put on boxes and things like that. Basic principles seem sound, but I don't particularly like the idea of using a wiki for it, especially not a really heavyweight one that needed a bunch of stuff around it to get the installation working. Semantic Media Wiki appears to be an absolute pain to get running. And what I was thinking is, it would be an awful shame if I put any effort into putting all my stuff in a tracking database of whatever sort it happens to be, and then decide I didn't get on with it after all. And in the meantime, I'd gone and printed ACID tags to stick on dozens of computers and boxes full of crap, all the rest of it, because they would instantly become invalid. Exactly, Cobb. Why put the effort into it? If you put the effort into it once, it'll be a pain to have to do it all over again if I change the back-end tracking system. So what I thought is build an intermediary layer where I have a little database that maps ACID tags that I've stuck on stuff to entries in whatever back-end it happens to be. Yes, Majenko and Ramdog. So this is where this has ended up going. It could either just be a database that maps sort of, here's an ACID tag to here is its entry in some other tracking system, or we could just build the bloody ACID tracking thing, because it doesn't need to be too complicated. And then, of course, I've still got the same benefits. If I don't like that, I could end up just switching to another one. I'm going to turn that light off behind me. It's annoying me. There we go. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If I build a basic database to let me do the ACID tracking myself, I can always supersede it with a better one, and then I've still got this intermediary layer that lets me retarget it if I change my mind, and so on and so forth. So let me just catch up on chat there. Let me just click on Matt's link to check out this grocery thing. See if I can bring that up. I'm looking at the wrong. Well, I approve of Toffee. That is always worth approving of. That might be worth checking out. I should put it on my list of things to check out. Thank you, Matt. But yeah, what I'm thinking is, I want an excuse to play with some stuff. Yeah, I know Snipe IT is actually built for IT asset management. I've looked at it and bounced quite hard off it. I'm not entirely sure why. I might look at it again sometime. But the I suppose most of what I'm organising is IT assets, so it makes sense. But anyway, I'll show you what I've come up with so far. And let me just do that in a browser without. Show my start page again. What am I looking for? That one? No. Oh, Safari, you are an absolute pain in the proverbial sometimes. Go away. Don't just reopen the bloody tab I had open in another desktop. I can't see that from OBS. Right, so I've attacked this from the good evening, Carrot House, and yes, there's always room here for you, Carrot House. Hope you're doing well. I had a play with CSS to lay out some labels. That's interesting. That is not where it should be. So I've got a couple of label layouts to play with. So all the layout is done in CSS here. So all that is a larger label 4x3 to go on the side of a plastic box. Let me move that to the middle of the screen so it doesn't look quite so hilariously awkward. Oh God. OBS, stop it. No, Chloe, it doesn't, regrettably. So we have 4x3 labels to go on the side of boxes. So big QR codes, so you can set at a distance to find out what's in it. Small code 128 for, as Matt suggests, USB barcode scanner. For I'm about to stick this in this, scan the codes, nice and straightforward. And then there's the smaller one, the 70x35. That's designed to wrap around a string tag, as again Shelby did, and then that can go through vent holes in the back of a computer or whatever, just keep track of what an individual machine is. As you can see, adding fields that show up at the bottom for serial number, for instance, that was just to check if I could fit 2. And the general idea is that you can let's turn that one off. The general idea I'm aiming for is that I can add important fields, such as, for instance, a serial number machine probably isn't that important unless I have 2 of them, but what's on this particular DEC StorageWorks disk, removable hard drive cartridge. Good luck with that, Chloe. So yeah, I want to play around with this a bit, just to see if I can build a simple database to do it. And then maybe it'll all be junk and I'll have to use something off the shelf that does it better, and maybe it won't. So anyway, let's have a look at, what's that? That is Visual Studio. And I can't quite see chat, but I can't quite... What happens if I move that over there? Oh good, screen capture still works. Get rid of that one. So I'm thinking I'm going to build this thing and call it Barman, or Balger's Asset Register Manager. I mean, it's not going to be released, but you know. And we'll give it a go using Mojolicious, which is a Perl framework for web apps, because I haven't used it and I want to give it a go. So we should be able to say Mojo generate app Barman. Here we go. You can write 2 sorts of things in Mojolicious, or there are 2 ways to use Mojolicious. One is the light version, which starts out as an all-in-one file, which is quite neat. In fact, we can try that. Am I an idiot? I am an idiot. That's what I wanted to do. So there's a basic light app. So it's a typical thing for a web framework where you have paths that you associate with a dispatcher. What's the term? Routes, that's the word I'm looking for. And then basic templating engine. So if we ran that, we'll run it through Morbo, because you can run anything through Morbo. Well, you can't really, but Morbo just restarts it every time I change it. And then your application running on port 3000 is available. So in theory, we can say open web browser. Well, it served something. But it didn't show up in the integrated browser. Maybe that browser plugin is rubbish. Oh. Yeah, that's not ideal. So we'll have to test it in good old-fashioned Safari. Like so. So we have a working web thingy. But this gets a bit unmanageable, having templates or layouts and content and code to do all the rendering in one file is nice and easy to chuck around and deploy. You can run a command to explode this out so that the layout and the layout and the content.
Dead insects cheered with 100 bits. Welcome to Ginks.
That's certainly a way you could pronounce that text to speech, but thank you for the 100 bits, Swarm. Oh, you've hit up my VPS on its own, have you? Dev VP, go away. Yeah, there's also Balance.uk is on that machine. No, Balance.uk is on a different machine. EMF Live is on that machine. Interesting. Okay, doesn't matter anyway. PDF 417, yeah, it's an interesting barcode symbology. You see it around on shipping labels and such like a lot. But don't really need that sort of density. So anyway, let me go back here and turn that one off. So yeah, as I was saying, this is tempting to get started with, but it's I don't particularly like the structure of that sort of application. So if we get rid of that one, you can do it. What's this? This random script. The bigger version of Modulicious is a more traditional layout. So you have all your Perl in. Oh, don't do that. I hate that. No, I hate things that collapse multiple folders. So you have separate source files for classes. So you write a controller class. So it's all MVC, or you can write MVC in it, model view controller. So you split out the responsibilities between a view, which generates the page that's being rendered or shown, the model, which is your data model, and then the controller ties the two together. And this is... I forgot what I was going to attack first, and I think what I was going to attack first was let's come up with a schema for the database. I'm just wondering where that should live. Ideally in here. And we'll be using Postgres for the database because I don't hate myself enough to use MySQL. Create table. No, let's have a think. What do we want this actually to look like in terms of data model? Well, things. And we have things and we have places that things can be. And we're going to have, what I want to have is separate sequences of asset IDs. So the labels that I had all started. Okay, Safari gets the font rendering wrong on that as well. That's weird. Don't like that. Where are we? Over here. So I mean, stuff that there are several classes of things I need to track in this system. One are my own bits and pieces of junk, like System 1, and view data terminals and things like that. And the other is stuff that's owned by the company, which already have, or no, I have an asset register for those, obviously, but I don't have asset IDs assigned to them. So what I wanted to do was have a bulge series of identifiers for my own stuff, a corporate series with the JSD, the initials of the company, at the start, but then also extend the same idea so that SC, I think that was small container, so that would be a label that goes in a small plastic box full of leftover, I don't know, resistors, capacitors, whatever, on a shelf that can get a different sequence. Just that you can tell at a glance from a label whether you are looking at my thing or the company's thing or whatever. So I think we need to have a table to represent those, or not to represent those, to represent the next free number in each of those sequences. So create, yes. Yes, go. Which I go nothing much wrong with Vi, except that I don't fancy doing all my work in a terminal. Apache, I just don't have it installed. It's Nginx on that machine because it's primarily forwarding as a proxy to the view data server running there. It's not going to be where it's actually going to be deployed. It's going to be deployed somewhere else. MariaDB, I just prefer Postgres. And PHP I haven't touched in years. And I write a lot of Perl. So, anyway. I think the thing I want to aim for, it's nearly 10 o'clock anyway already, so this is not going to be ideal. Let's just get some tables set up, stick some stuff in those tables, and see if we can create something close to that label page to start with. So we don't really need to care about that one yet. We can come back to it. Places are going to have a name. Are we going to have some sort of and a, I don't know, parent place. That's not how I like SQL, that's how I design tables, right. Something boring like that. works out we can just have a hierarchy of places within places, because there are going to be boxes that live in boxes, there are going to be boxes that live in garages, and there are going to be boxes that live in offices. So, and then things will have a thing ID, and I can't use name there. Yep, okay. And a thing name. And we are going to need an asset. Asset. Is it an asset tag? No, the asset tag is a physical thing. Asset string, asset. Call it asset tag. And there are going to be the other fields that we'll worry about later. That should be enough to get us started. So PSQL, and I've created a database for this already called Barman, so we should be able to just dot wonder if that worked. No, it didn't, because I didn't do it. Oh, is it dot? Meh. It's been a while since I've had to do this. I thought I could just dot it, but obviously not. Oh, nah. Right, select star from, oh no, you can just backslash D, can't you? Places. Right, that's good. Oh, you're off, Matt. Enjoy. So let's insert into places. One home. That'll just start with. No, let's try a. ID values. Just for you, chat. The M&S bag is at home. That's because I didn't put an ID on parent place ID. Fine. Great. So we have some places in the database. Mac and cheese from a box. Excellent. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I thought that cleared it. Never mind. So insert into things. Values. At home we have. Let's pick a thing at random that I can see. System 1 is on the kitchen table. And something that's in the office. what do I have in the office that's worth putting in here as example data? Okay, that's a good start. So now we need a model for these things. I think that's right. And actually, I've just realised I don't know whether I need to do anything in specific for a Modulicious model class. In fact, maybe I will write this as a Mojo Lite application first, and then Barman, and then convert it to a proper one later. Schema. Model controller schema. That's interesting. Fine. Have I written anything else in there yet? No. Great. This is being productive. Is it expand or explode? Explode. Inflate. Close enough. Pre-wrapped sausages. Excellent. This sounds like is this Canadian drama going on over there, Jeepin? So I think we need to use Mojo PG to get the Postgres client in, and then we can say helper DB is sub Mojo PG new, and then it's just Postgres I think to use a defined connection. I think that works, so then we can say here the current database time is db select. Oh, good question. comments recently. Current timestamp, okay, with an underscore. I think that should be it. Let's find out. $C requires line 10. Oh. Oh, I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have done that. Well, that's nice. Well, we've got a crash at least. Which is probably just me misremembering how to get a result set out of that query, I want to say. Syntax error there, fine. Will that do it? That will not do it. PGDB. Do you have to run query select? No, I'm not paying attention to the error message. State PG is right, can't locate object measure DB via package. Oh, let's try that one. There we go. So at least we're calling the database. That's always a good start. Oh, gee, been business as usual then for large grocery store chains. So turns far off. It would have been better actually if I'd started work on building my stream control things, and I'm not alt-tabbing all the way between everything every 30 seconds to do nonsense stuff. Anyway, so what we can do is have a new file, layouts, labels.html.ep. It'll pick up the HTML and set the content type appropriately, so that's good. No, in fact, we won't do it there. We shall. No, in fact, why don't we just copy and paste that one there and rename it to labels.html.ep. The EP is for embedded Perl, the templating language. So what we can do is come down here and zap out all the example code. And we need to put text in there, which will be what did we call it? We called it thing name. That'll do. This colour scheme is not ideal for Perl. Oh well. I shall change it at some point. And then that was asset tag. Yeah. And then we need to wrap this lot in a iterator over the labels for my dollar label. And we'll get the labels from somewhere. Where will we get the labels from? DB values, DB query that'll do fine for now. We can come back to that hash. If we spelled values right, that might even work. So we just need to add a root for that. Get/labels is index. So let's see whether anything actually worked there. Can't load application from file. Line 15. Okay, that was just a missing brackets, that's fine. So let's do this live, see how horribly it breaks. So the time is updating, that's good. This risk generator response for your get to slash labels. Perhaps you need to add a new one. Okay, maybe it is. Oh, did I just say just? Could not render a response. That's a good start. Why not? Template labels.html.ep not found. Labels.html.ep is right there. Do I have to add it here? Oh, I see why. It's layouts slash. Ooh, that's what we like. Experimental values on scalar is now forbidden at template type 1. It must be hash or array. Oh, I see. So that is moaning because on scalar. Oh, I see, because it'll return a hash reference. So we dereference it like so. And we get a new error, which is an exciting one. Syntax error. Global label requires explicit package name. Did you forget? Well, the label came from there. Why? Unknown regex modifier. Line 259. That seems unlikely. Ah. I typed that, which is obviously wrong. That might be more like it. And similarly, it's trying to parse the entire thing as Perl, because I'm a prat. There we go. And then finally the global symbol % label wasn't found is because that's a reference, not a... Yes, I think that's a reference, not a... hash can't use string as hash ref. Ugh. So what I'm going to do is just quickly down here in the terminal use Mojo PG my $db equals Mojo PG my dollar query equals db query select star from things hash. Why is that only returned one thing? If all else fails, read the documentation. I see why. It's hash each, apparently, to iterate over the or to return the whole lot, so that should be helps if you restart the server. What do we have? We now have can't use each on an unblessed ref, which is odd because name for db select hashes each. Okay, so hash is just the first returned result presumably, and then that will give us, let's find out. Well, it gave us no error. But it put no text anywhere either. Because it lowercased the column names, that's why. Main progress. Why is it not? That font doesn't look right to me. That does not look like Plex Sans. Maybe it is. Helvetica. Oh, I'm probably right, yes, I'm not including the font. Safari, being Safari, doesn't let you. It doesn't let web pages enumerate locally installed fonts. I don't know how it decides which fonts are made available or not, but anyway, that's fine. We can come back to that. Now, what we want to do is add the barcodes. So that should be a bit more straightforward. So we can use SVG barcode QR code and use SVG barcode code 128. And then get slash barcodes slash ID slash no, what should we call these? Barcode slash I think that's the syntax to sub format is SVG. Is it render bytes? Mojo render bytes. No, text. No, text will be escaped. We don't want it escaped. We want Automatic rendering. No, come on. I've seen this somewhere. Render to string, that's not it. Oh, it is data, I was right. Okay, data to just instantiate the generators, and then we should be able to just say $QR code. No, we're in the asset tag, so code 128 render $C ID. Sorry, Pillock. I don't read chat. Sorry, I positioned my Visual Studio window so that I could still read chat, but you were talking about nonsense earlier, so I stopped reading chat and started reading error messages instead, because error messages are much better. Sorry, Swarm. So I was wondering why the 500 was taking so long to generate, then I saw the error page. Yes, it in debugging mode, it gives you quite a lot. As soon as you run it in production, that all goes away, and you just get a 500 go away sort of thing, which is quite nice. Just catching up. I don't know what Majenko and Carrot House are up to, but it sounds like fun. Alcohol and rubber duckies, count me in. Well, error messages lead me to making correct or making corrections to things. Chat. Well, okay, occasionally you point out the error of my ways, but I obviously don't pay attention, otherwise I wouldn't be here. So we actually want to not do that. We want to do this. $, asset tag equals db query select asset tag from things where thing ID equals that, and we are passing in I think it's just going to be CID, because we've captured it with the name ID there, so it should just be in our stash as ID. Array 0. So I'm going to change this colour scheme. I can't see what the colour it's using for punctuation. 1 second. File, no, preferences, themes, quiet light. There we go. Sorry for the flashbang there, folks, but oh, you off, Carrot House. Good night. Have a good one. And I don't know why. I still don't know why Streamlabs isn't showing you as a moderator in the credits. We'll find out. We'll double check this. Double check it this evening. And then instead of ID there, we want to render the tag like so. And then we duplicate that for, well, not quite, but for the QR code. just put something suitably awful in there. And then in theory we should just be able to reference barcode/asset/ID from here. So not that one. QR code, so that needs to be /barcode/URL/ $label thing ID. What did I call it? Assets. Yep. So, fingers crossed this doesn't go horribly wrong and embarrass me, but it might do. That's what we're here for after all. Yes, it did give an error at least. Page not found. Barcode/URL/1. Okay, I could have sworn that was how you declared a route with a parameter in it. Routing. Ah, no brackets. Still no brackets. No, that was the wrong one. Cannot locate render. Okay. Oh, that's on the SVG. So I'll turn off Safari again. Plot, not render, that's why. Hooray, we've got one of them working, so why not the other one? Cannot locate object method ID on the controller. Right, the other one didn't actually depend on that. Okay, that's fine. So I am making a mistake somewhere. So it should just end up in the stash. Okay, come on, this is no good. I'm just looking for what I had seen, which was a nice straightforward, maybe it's going to be in the tutorial, how to get something from a parameter. There we go. No, it's not from a parameter, it's, we want it from the stash. Ah. Might just be $ID and it's predefined when we are in there, so let's find out. Well, when we refresh the actual page, I wanted that one. Ah, that one failed completely. Cannot load application. Global symbol requires explicit package name. Okay, so that's not the answer. No, it's not there. Placeholders, there we go. Oh, okay, so you have to get it from $C stash ID. Okay, because I'm in actual Perl code there, not in a template. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Right, so in theory that should now generate... That was that, which is not what we wanted. And now we can't order the database. Okay, making progress though. $CDB. Hooray, so we just need to turn that bit off, because we don't want that bit. So if we switch that one off there, and it's text size 0, is it? And similarly margin 0, I think, so that it ends up as big as possible. We'll do the scaling in the HTML, so that should be that. Restart the thing. That's progress. So if we refresh that page, we should now have excellent. Catch up on chat. I am more sensible than Majenko. No, I don't think that's true. I mean, Majenko at least has the brains to do this sort of thing live on stream in an environment that he knows already, whereas I'm using it as an excuse to learn what I've never touched before, beyond reading the tutorial. So, definitely not sensible. Oh, good evening, Purple Jimmy Beans. Sorry, I didn't see you join there. How goes it? Slowly at the moment. We have achieved roughly what I wanted to achieve this evening, at least. We've got 20 minutes to kill, so let's do a quick page for just showing the details of the database record, and then we'll link the QR code to that, and then we'll call it done for this evening, I think. That might be a good place to stop, so let's get rid of that. So we just want a very basic at thing.html.ep, and we'll inherit the default layout. Title thing database. Perl.db. Thing name from things where thing ID is question mark. Oh, how do we get to the controller from here? I think actually it might get promoted like so. Let me just check the documentation on that one quickly. Placeholders, stash. Mojo EP, stash value. Stash. Oh, it's just dollar. Okay, fine. And content. So our content can just be, this is a database page for a thing. Asset tag. We probably don't want to hit the database several times per page load, but we'll worry about that later. And this is going to be select place name from places P, things T, where T dot thing ID equals that. No, inner join things T on T dot place equals P dot place ID, where T dot thing ID is question mark. It should work. Did I get the schema right? Place name, place, yes, good. So we want to go up here and add a root for that. Get slash things slash ID. Template thing. I think it's just thing. Yes, that should do it. So if we bring up Safari again, so you can watch the crash live, that still worked. Things slash one. Syntax error, template near default title. Oh, interesting. Can you not put Perl in there? No, that's a function call to title. Let's do that for the time being. No, it still complained, it just near default. Ah. Excellent, so we got things 1, things 2, things 3, and it'll probably explode if I go to things 4. Yes, good. But what we should be able to do is catch up on chat here. What are we doing? No, Majenko, I definitely wouldn't come and check me out. It's not going to work very well. You leave my Perl alone. I just write too much Perl in the day job, that's the thing. I mean, I should have chosen to do this in something else, maybe a Flask app or something in Python, but no. Anyway, what I wanted to look at quickly was the embedded Perl language, growing routing tutorial, rendering. Oh good, so you can just do my thingy. Right, so let's fix up these repeated database accesses because I don't like those, they're no good. So we can say $my $thing equals db query select star from things where thing use that $id as a hash, and then we can say $thing name there. Tag there, and then we still need that query to get the place name, but that should be fine. It's a bit ugly, but it'll do for the time being. And then the only other thing we want to do is hook that up to we've got a root, there's a way to get a root 4 so it can generate it can generate the URL without hard coding it. So where's the routing guide? Routing, named routes I think we need to use. Named route in Malicious Light. URL 4 is what we want, so it is how does this work? All routes can have a name associated with them. Yes, but how? URL 4 Capture window flashing. And flashing in what sense? Just blinking out for a moment. Not sure what's going on there then. Sorry, I'm just trying to work out from the documentation how I can easily get it to generate the URL I want. URL for... actually no, that my entire display did it just then. I could see if it just blinked, so did my Safari window as I was typing a search there. So that's obviously some weirdness to do with capture. I need to upgrade macOS on this laptop, which I am going to do this week, and then I'll be able to use the new window capture method in OBS, which apparently is brand new, but it can capture child windows as well, which will be useful for Cool Term. Oh, sorry, I'm just reading. Let me switch back to OBS so you can see what I'm reading. Documentation for Modulicious Lite. So we have a get root. Yes, we want to stick a name on it. Modulicious Lite, yes. And it tells us all about how to dump Modulicious Lite and write full Modulicious applications, which is fine, but generate root. Okay, fine. Using get in takes the same arguments as any. Two supported string values in the root pattern and the root name. Okay. So maybe what we do is we say asset barcode there and QR code there. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, Pratt. Thing page. Right. And here's my URL equals $C URL for thing page, and then we need to pass it $C stash ID. So QR code plot something suitably awful, so we replace that with URL. Print URL is probably a better way of doing that, but we'll worry about that later. Well, I don't actually need it later. URL is $URL \n. Can't load application. Global symbol URL requires explicit package name. No, syntax error at line 34 near stash. It's a function, not a hash, right. Okay, no error this time, that's good. So if I refresh the page, there we go, it's generated, well, it's not quite generated the URL, it's generated a local page name, but with no base for the application. That's annoying. So I just catch up on chat. Yeah, yes. Hopefully the blinking is just OBS being weird. No, it isn't, because I saw it. Well, it could still be OBS being weird. Never mind. Oh, good evening, Created. Good to see you. Also, Sleepy. Hello there. How are you doing? Right, so what I want to do is figure out how to put the host name for the application, or the complete URL of the application in there. It's just 2 abs on the end apparently, so let's give that a go. And if I refresh or reload one of the QR codes, open a new window, excellent, is HTTP localhost 3000 barcodes URL 1. And thus if I bring up Safari and we refresh the page, yes, we now have 3 different QR codes which presumably point. So, sorry, no, that's what I wanted to do. There's Safari with the page up, so we have 3 different QR codes, and if I point the camera at them, I should get 3 different URLs. This QR code is not supported. Weird. Let's try that with a different reader. I'm sorry, so obviously just a stream delay there. My QR code reader, there we go. It's a handy one that can also read code 128, so we can check that that works in a minute. I know you can't see it because it's on my phone, but yeah, that comes back. Correct scan result for the QR codes. And correct scans on the code 128 as well. Yep, excellent. So why does my camera say that QR code is not supported? Oh, that's fun. Apart from the mildly broken layout there, why has that only changed the first one? Div class label. Oh, I've put the iterator in the wrong place. We can fix that much. That's a nice easy fix. Back to code, that is here. Well, that should have done it. If we reload the page... Yep, at least that bit works. That's very weird. Do I have any other QR codes lurking around that this might be able to point out? Doesn't look like it, no. I'll worry about that some other time. If it's working for Swarm, I presume it's just my phone being weird because I haven't rebooted it in 2 months, and it apparently is upset about this. It keeps warning me that it needs to be rebooted regularly, otherwise I don't know. It doesn't follow through on that threat. But anyway. Excellent, thank you, Swarm. So that's working. The only thing... What else do we want to do while we have that so far? Not much, I think. We've achieved what I wanted to achieve. Yes, obviously that's the camera on my phone is being weird, because if I pull it up in a web-based barcode reader on it, it's fine. So it's just the camera app is sulking. Or maybe it doesn't like localhost. Let's try. /localhost/barge.uk. It won't work because that's not. If I reload that, yes, it spots the local host and gets annoyed at it. So if I take the local host out and put the balance.uk in, then my camera recognises it fine. So very strange. The only thing I want to do actually is incorporate a reference to Plex Sans in the style sheet, rather than rely on it being host installed, because obviously Safari isn't liking that. So we just want labels there, and we'll stick it in here. I don't like importing from Google Fonts. I prefer to self-host it locally, but I don't have it on downloaded on this machine. So if we go back to here, wait, what just happened? Safari. Did that just reload of its own accord? No, there we go. So at least you've got the right fonts now, which is always good. Yep, excellent. So I think we'll call that there for the evening. Where are we? How did I fix that last in the prototype? Doesn't matter. I'll worry about that another time. I'll switch back here and bring that up. So yes, relatively happy with that as a very very early draft of it. I might put some effort into turning that into a better structured application rather than the light version with it all in one file. That's a pain. But I don't know. What do people think? Is it worth pursuing the rest of this project on stream, or should I just get on with it and do something more interesting on stream next time? I don't know what I have lined up for the time being. There's always more System 1 stuff for the time being, I suppose. The keyboard hooks are working nicely, so we can play with that for a bit. And then I need to put some time into thinking about what else to do. But hey, let me know, folks, if it's worth continuing with this bit live, or if I should cut something better. There's also that development of a keypad for OBS controlling. I want to get on with, and we've got to get back to the DEC LA50 at some point. Might do that on Friday, we'll see. But yeah, for now, thank you for joining me. I hope that wasn't too deathly dull, and I shall catch you all. Yeah, Jeevan, it might be interesting. I need to play with that and see what works. But yeah, as I said, thanks for joining me. I'll catch you all next time, and yeah, back on Friday.